Hey readers, as we finish up the last two chapters, we're finishing up the Chinese year and following the calendar for the Chinese New Year. Here comes the new year for Grace and the year of the dog is ending. So I wonder how the story will have final resolution here. So while you're reading, what I'd like you to do when you're following along with me is to think about the different traditions, whether it's the dishes that the family eats or the things that they do to celebrate the new year. As we get to the end of chapter 28 and 29, I'd like you to have a discussion to discuss how is their New Year celebration different maybe from your own. We can do some comparison and we can also do some contrasting there. We can also talk about how their traditions are similar to our New Year's traditions in your families to get a better understanding of how special the Chinese New Year is for families like Grace's. So here comes the Chinese New Year. The one holiday Mom and Dad did know how to celebrate was Chinese New Year. Sometimes we thought they celebrated it too well, especially when Mom made us clean. Pacey, clean the mirrors, Mom would say. Lissy, vacuum the carpet. Kiki, polish the furniture. Everything has to be clean for Chinese New Year. And we would have to sweep and mop and brush and polish everything. We were glad when we were finished. After that, Mom and Dad took out their Chinese New Year decorations. Mom hung up a bright red sign with black Chinese symbols on it upside down on our door. It says good luck, Mom told us. Hanging it upside down means good luck has already come in. Mom took us shopping for new clothes. Everything has to be for the new year, she told us. Oh, I have to cut your hair too. Mom always cut our hair part of the New Year's tradition. We had to cut it out the day before New Year's because it was bad luck to cut your hair on New Year's Day. Mom had us sit on the high stool in the kitchen and put a big white plastic cloth around our necks. Then she would wear her red and green plaid raincoat, take out her scissors, and cut our hair. Lissy wanted to get a haircut at a fancy salon in the mall, but Mom said that was too expensive. But I want to look good, Lissy pouted. They cut it the same, Mom said. No, Lissy said. A girl in my class says they cut her hair in layers. That's American hair, Mom said. You can't cut our hair in that special way. It's too straight. But if you can cut it, Lissy said, it'll look like just like Pacey's and Kiki's hair. I'm older, mine should look different. Okay, I'll cut it differently, Mom said. Did I ever tell you about the time they cut my hair in school? Well, here we go, another good mom story. Do you remember how I told you that schools in Taiwan were different from here? Every day, our uniforms had to be crisp and spotless, and our hair had to be straight and combed and never longer than our ears. They were very strict about these rules. Every day when we entered the school building, a teacher waited at the door to inspect us. She was a horrible woman. She had a long, sharp nose like a knife, and her hair was pulled back so tightly that it looked like it was painted onto her skull. She was always watching and waiting, her eyes scanning for any imperfections. My hair always grew fast. Grandma had to cut it all the time, much more than my sister's hair. I hated getting my hair cut. I always felt like it was such a bother. But one day on my way to school, I touched my hair. It was a little bit longer than my ears. But it was longer by such a small amount that I ignored it. I thought the teacher wouldn't notice. But as soon as I got closer to school, I began to feel nervous. I could see her at the door, studying the line of students, the same way a hungry cat would study a line of mice. I fluffed my hair up, hoping that it would make it look shorter. I saw a group of girls in front of me. I joined them, staying at the back. I hoped they would hide me, but they didn't. As I walked through the door, the teacher pointed at me. She pointed at me with a stern face that seemed to be made of steel. No, she barked at me like an army sergeant. Your hair is too long. I felt like a fish trapped under frozen water as she reached into her pocket, took out a pair of scissors. She seized a handful of my hair. I felt the cold metal points on my neck. Snip, snip, I saw my hair flutter down to the ground like a dying moth. Go, the teacher said. Like a rabbit, hearing a gun fired, I jumped away. While I hurried away from her, I touched my hair and almost stopped still from the shock. She only cut one side. One side was cut very short above my ear, while the other side was below my ear. It was lopsided. I looked so ridiculous. For the whole day, I have to have a bad haircut. Mom's haircut. Mom finished as soon as school was over. I ran all the way home so Grandma would cut it all one length. That's not the kind of different I mean, Lissy said. I know, Mom said. When Lissy's hair was done, I thought it looked the same as always, but Mom got a curling iron and curled her bangs and brushed them out. Lissy's hair was all fluffy like a poodle's, but when Lissy looked in the mirror, she was happy. Goodbye, Year of the Dog. That year, Melody's family was coming over to celebrate the Chinese New Year's with us. Since it was on Friday, we were all going to stay up late welcoming the new year. So Mom chopped and baked and steamed twice as much as she did last year. We all had to help her in the kitchen, or she would have never have gotten everything done in time. That year I made the dumplings. They weren't too hard to make. Mom did all the hard parts. She rolled the dumpling skins and made the filling. I cut the circles out of the dough using a cookie cutter, then I spooned in the filling and folded the skin. My dumplings looked like little half moons. When we finished making the dumplings, Mom boiled and fried them, then I peeled the shrimp. While Mom fried the fish and Lissy chopped some garlic, Dad added an extra part to the table to make it a little bit longer, and Kiki filled the New Year tray all by herself. This time we have more things to fill it with. Kiki put in Chinese New Year melon candy, honey noodle cakes, and red melon seeds, as well as M&Ms. I set the table. Kiki took out the polished serving spoons, and Lissy scooped rice out into a big bowl, like she was shoveling snow. Dad got out his special wine and the delicate wine glasses that were like soap bubbles with stems. All the while, with sizzling oil and vegetables popping in front of her like firecrackers, Mom kept frying and chopping. Then it was Chinese New Year. The phone started ringing and the doorbell rang. Melody's family came in. Gong chi, chin nai ho, they said. Happy New Year's, Happy Chinese New Year. Melody's parents handed Dad a big plant. Melody and Felix handed me a big wooden crate overflowing with oranges. There were a lot of oranges. They kept jumping out of the crate like rabbits trying to escape. Why'd you get us so many oranges? I asked. We're never going to be able to eat them all. It's to bring you good luck, don't you know? Melody told me. Not luck, Felix corrected her. Money. The Chinese word for oranges sounds like the word for wealth. I'm glad I'm already rich, so I don't have to worry about it, I said. Then give the oranges back, Melody told me. Then I'll get rich too. Hey, me too, said Felix. Kiki and Benji joined in as well. We peeled the oranges and shared them. I guess it was a good thing they brought so many. That way everyone could get rich. Time to eat, Mom called. Everyone hustled into the dining room and then stared in awe. Mom had made so much food, even more than last year. This year we had clams that looked like ocean stones, a roasted duck with its head still on, fried rice with pink shrimp, steamed buns that looked like enormous marshmallows, pan-fried fish, jade green cabbage, golden brown dumplings, red marinated pork, and brownish black seaweed. Yum, Felix said. Let's eat. The year of the dog is over, Dad said as he poured all the drinks. The adults got special Chinese wine, while the kids got juice. When Mom wasn't looking, Lissy tasted the wine. She made a face when she drank it. Now it's the year of the pig, Mom said. My year, Lissy added. You're a pig, Melody and I laughed. Oink, oink. Lissy stuck her tongue out at us, but for once she couldn't think of anything to say back. The year of the dog was a good year, Dad continued, don't you think? I thought about it. The year of the dog was the year that I met Melody and she became my best friend. It was the year I had won a prize, discovered my talent, and got rich. It was the year that I found myself and decided I was going to make books when I grew up. The year of the dog had been a great year. Let's give a toast to the year of the dog, Dad said. We all raised our glasses and clinked them together. Goodbye, year of the dog, I said. Goodbye. So as you were reading, I hope you were able to record some of the maybe dishes or traditions that Grace's family celebrates during the Chinese New Year. So if you're having a hard time right now thinking about how you can compare and contrast or things that people do during New Year, I do have a couple of videos after this that you can watch to help you think of some ideas. But right now, what I'd like you to do is look at the thing that you jotted down of the tradition. Does that tradition, is it similar to any of the traditions that your family has during the New Year's I know one thing that was brought up in the book that I heard was that this idea of giving oranges for wealth, and if you had all of these oranges, that your family would be wealthy. One thing my family does during New Year's is we put money out on our window sill, and the reason why we do that on that windowsill is that idea of if you have some money out there, you won't be scratching for money later in the year. It's kind of the saying that my dad says. So we want to make sure that you think about how they're alike, not just different. And that's one way that we're both alike. Our cultures, we both think of ways that we can encourage us to have a wealthy and successful year. So go ahead now to the next slide and see what you will be doing to record that thinking.